What's up, Brand Builder? I'm Mash Bonigala, and welcome to another episode of the Brand Builder Show, where I post daily videos on how to create, launch, build, and market your brand. In this episode, we talk about how to create a publicity strategy. Wikipedia defines publicity as the movement of information to the general public from the media on subjects including people, goods, and services, organizations, and works of art or entertainment. Publicity can also be defined as the art of gaining public visibility or awareness for a product, service, or your company via the media. A publicity strategy is the strategic management function that helps an organization communicate, establish, and maintain communication with the public. The core components of a publicity strategy are publicity campaign plan, media kit, media contact list, press release development, and of course the release, story development and propagation, and finally, press conferences. Publicity is a highly cost-effective strategy that can build awareness about your brand, products, or services, expertise, and of course, the people. It can drive prospects to your website or store. Publicity can drive event attendance or participation in a promotion or campaign. Publicity can educate the market about the problems that your brand or your company or your product can solve. Publicity can create an ongoing dialogue with your target audience. So, how do we create a publicity strategy? The first step is to define your publicity goals. So, the first step is to identify your business goals and corresponding publicity goals. For instance, if your goal is to create brand recall in the marketplace, then publicity via customer success stories would be the appropriate tactic to implement. If ranking higher in search engines and thereby getting more traffic is the goal, then content marketing, guest articles, press releases, and social media publicity campaigns will get you the results. Not identifying your primary, secondary, and tertiary business goals is the number one reason most businesses do not benefit from leveraging publicity. The wrong kind of publicity strategy for a wrong goal will always lead to disastrous results. Step 2, generate story ideas. At the foundation of all publicity is the concept of the story. Now, churning out articles on the cheap on topics that are remotely related to your product or service or aimed at just keyword stuffing, in order to gain, for example, search engine rankings, or just releasing press releases that are, crammed full of jargon. These never work. These rarely ever work. Any kind of publicity should be led by carefully thought through and creative story elements. Your brand story can come in handy and become the guideline for story development. Very few brands explore the topic of divorce or its ramifications for families in their advertising campaigns, even if it's also, of course, relatable to so many millions of people worldwide. A few brands have taken the risk. For example, Honeymaid and also Ford, which rolled out a beautiful and sad short film earlier this year. Now it's IKEA's turn. Check out their spot here.
Hi.
Hey. Leo, pack my hat.
This is a beautiful advert where IKEA tells the story that is so common, the plight of children of divorced parents, and then weaves their products into the story. Masterful. When brainstorming for story ideas, ask yourself these questions to validate a potential story. How unique is the story idea? Can it connect emotionally with the target audience? Does the story represent your brand in the best light possible? Does the story reflect your brand message? Would this work well on social media or your website? Can we turn this into a series? Can you turn a series of stories? Step 3, create a publicity scheduler. Your entire publicity must be led by a cohesive strategy. You should never simply create publicity campaigns, including press releases or blog posts, etc., in isolation. Each piece of publicity should form a part of the whole, and the whole should paint a picture that aligns with your brand and positioning strategy. Your publicity scheduler is a calendar where you list your potential publicity campaigns on future dates. This timeline will give you an opportunity to make sure you mix and match the publicity tools you use and also give you oversight of the overall stream of releases. Step 4, publicity tools development. Before launching any publicity campaign, you should develop the following publicity tools. A printed press kit. You may think that a printed press kit may be a little old-fashioned. You would be surprised at how many journalists or magazines would actually request a printed kit. Typically, this printed publicity kit should contain the following items. A beautifully designed folder to hold the kit items. Clear and concise contact sheet. Clear and bold fact sheet. Brand story and stakeholder information. Press release. Product or service detail sheets. Supporting articles or previous pieces from newspapers, magazines, etc. Website press area. Your website should have a news or press section separate from your blog or contact page with most of the items that I just mentioned in the form of downloadable PDFs. Also include downloads of your corporate logo design along with any supporting graphics. Email press kit. You should have all the items mentioned just now in the website press area zipped up and put on your website server or a third-party web space such as Dropbox or Google Drive. Now, this way, you can include a download link to the zip file when sending emails to journalists or bloggers. Step 5, promote your story. Once you have all your publicity tools created, it is time to promote the publicity story that you had created in step 2. The best way to get your story out there, other than posting it on your blog and your website, is to pitch the story to a journalist. Journalists are constantly looking for interesting stories to feature in their magazines, both offline and online, newspapers, and even video channels. So start by compiling a list of magazines, newspapers, and channels that you would like your story to appear in. These channels should be where your primary target audience pays attention to and are hanging out there. Once you have identified the list of journalists to pitch to, follow these simple steps. Create a compelling pitch script for your email and or a phone call. Now, keep it brief and use emotional storytelling that would pique the interest of the journalist. Do not send a copy and paste email to all the people on your contact list. Instead, create a Google document and list out specific and interesting points about each journalist and the publication that he or she is attached to. Google them and Check out their social media profiles to get as much information about them as possible. This information should be then used to customize each email and make it more personal. Once you have emailed the journalists, create a Google document and document the date, the journalist details, and the pitch email. Now, set reminders to follow them up in a couple of weeks. Then follow the journalists on Twitter and engage with them periodically. Now, don't spam them, just engage with them. Send follow-up emails in a couple of weeks and be very gracious about it. Offer to leave them alone if they're not interested. Finally, release your story to the general public via your website and your social media channels. Publicity is an art, and great care must be taken to create the perfect publicity strategy. This video just scratches the surface and gives you an idea where to get started. Treat each publicity campaign as a unique opportunity to tell your brand story. It's not about numbers. It's not about spamming. This video is one of the lessons from my Ultimate Brand Builder course. By completing the course, you will have built a brand, built a stunning and robust brand that will be poised to attract your target audience and dominate your market space. So keep tuned to this channel, and I will post a video when I'm releasing that course. I hope you found this episode useful. If you have any questions about this episode, please hit me up on Twitter. My handle is @Bonigala, or leave comments below this video and I will surely respond. And please don't forget to subscribe to the Brand Builder Show so that when my next episode comes out, you will get an alert. Till my next video, take care.